What's up, Space Pirates? This is your captain, the Dread Pirate Dr. Disaster, and the reviews are now out for Dragon Age the Veilguard. The Metacritic score is an 84 out of 100, and the game is now the 4th bestseller on Steam. So, is it time to admit that the game is a success?
Nope. Wrong again!
The game was always going to get a huge push right before its release. There are a bunch of people out there who will auto-purchase anything made with a Dragon Age name slapped on it, but the fact that it took this long to crack the top 10 of Steam, 2 days or so before its release, that is fairly pathetic. But even more alarming than that for Bioware is the army of people who are completely turned off by this game. So much so that they will go out of their way to let everyone know how much they hate the Veilguard at about every opportunity they find.
He doesn't like you.
I'm sorry.
I don't like you either.
Case in point, we have the IGN review video for Dragon Age that just came out yesterday, and it has gotten completely destroyed on the ratio within a day of its release. The majority of people who know about this game are against it. Yes, it will sell 1 million copies. These shill journalists will claim that as some kind of a massive win, ignoring the fact that based on the game's budget and marketing expenses, it likely needs at least 5 million copies sold to break even. And all the while, Dragon Age and their shills will keep ignoring the massive horde of people who would have been interested in a new game from Dragon Age if it didn't have the woke and DEI shit that got pumped into it. But once we got even the smallest taste of that shit, we were over it.
Get the hell out of here.
Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter or X, or whatever you want to refer to it as these days. I keep a list on there of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. My handle over there is Dr. Disaster 1. Let's have a look at the reaction of gamers to these Dragon Age the Veilguard reviews, because here's the thing, outlets like IGN, Game Rant, corporate media types like that, they are about as predictable as they come. We all knew they'd be doing their best to try to convince people to buy this game. There was never any question of that, but it sure seems like a massive psyop, especially when you consider what IGN themselves had to say about the game. Look at this tweet here from IGN. You can see they give it a 9 out of 10, but look at what they're saying in the tweet. If we never get another Dragon Age, at least it got to go out on a high note with the Veilguard. And immediately, I start wondering how in the hell, if this game is such a high note for the series, and if people are gonna love it and all that, then how in the hell would this be the last game? Surely, Bioware would make another Dragon Age game if this thing sold as well as IGN seems to intimate that it will.
He's full of shit.
That's just it. These people are completely full of it, and we all know it. This video that I have playing in the background here is the IGN review, and if you look at the ratio on this thing, it is looking fairly bad for the game. Currently, it has a little over 250,000 views, but the ratio is 5,500 likes to 31,000 dislikes, because people are sick and tired of the gaslighting and the covering up for these AAA games. We just do not trust these schmucks. We all knew that they would give this game a great score, but what the actual gamers think is what I find interesting. Let's look at the comment section for this thing. This guy's comment has over half the likes of the video itself, and he said, "I only clicked on this because I was curious to see how much IGN was gonna lie to my face, not because I was curious about the game." And then this person wrote, "This isn't fooling anyone, bruh." And yeah, one quick glance at that dislike ratio is clear evidence of that. It must be really disheartening to be one of the so-called journalists at IGN and to have to face the fact that people distrust you this much. But then this person wrote, "People will remember this review after the game comes out and learn who exactly not to trust." Gaming journalism is dead. How does IGN still exist? This isn't a review, it's sponsored content. And then this person wrote, in quotes, "It panders to my mental illnesses, 9 out of 10. And then this person said, "Why does the narrator sound dead inside?" Well, I think I can field that question really quick because the game is terrible, but IGN is compelled to make it sound like this is a great game because they are stooges. They are propagandists who do not have the best interests of gamers in their hearts. They're only looking out for corporate interests and, by extension, their own bank accounts. We can all sense this from a mile away. But we can also sense that the game is still struggling. The distaste that we have for it as a collective group, as gamers, is palpable. The PS5 version of Dragon Age finally cracked the top 100 sellers on Amazon, hitting number 26, right behind Sonic X Shadow Generations on the Switch. But this surge from Dragon Age is too little, too late to convince me that the game will actually do well. I mean, we always knew the game would sell 1 million copies. There are enough people on autopilot who aren't paying attention to the cultural elements of gaming, who refuse to acknowledge that woke shit in games is ruining them. They'll go out and they'll buy the game because that's just what they always do. But it won't be enough to save Dragon Age the Veilguard. It'll be enough, just enough, for these same journalist types to claim that the Veilguard was a big success, but these people never use context. They don't talk about the cost of things. When Dragon Age hits 1 million copies sold, they'll just throw out that fact like it's a tremendous win and say nothing else. But the game is estimated to have cost around $150 million to develop, and these days, analysts estimate that marketing costs usually rival development costs. So, even if we conservatively estimate a $100 million marketing budget, we are looking at about $250 million they need to make back as a studio to break even. And the rule of thumb is that when a game sells, 25% of that sale goes to whoever sold the game, whether that be the PlayStation Store, or Steam, or a retailer, or whatever. This means the studio who made it gets around 75% of the game's cost. If the game sells for $70, then the studio gets $52.50 per copy. If you do the math, then the studio will break even at somewhere around 4.7 million copies sold. So no, I won't be impressed when the game hits 1 million copies sold. And with all the vitriol they've clearly harvested with this game, I struggle to see them break even. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your mockery of Dragon Age and IGN into the comment section below, and we will talk there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.